Your college news station starts right now.
Good evening, Lutz, and welcome to News at 9. I'm Amy Jones.
And I'm Matthew Gady. Here's a look at our top stories.
We find out more information about the Hauge break-ins.
We talked to a PLU student who is also involved in the local government.
PLU in Focus takes a look at the PLU holiday decorations policy and what students think of it.
All that and more next on News at 9.
Winter can be a tough season to get through due to stress from the upcoming holidays, finals, and the bitter cold. We investigated some ways to keep your mood up during the next couple of months.
I think the winter blues is just kind of the grayness that comes with winter, even though we have a lot in Washington anyways, but it just kind of brings everybody down. I go on Netflix and I watch different movies that make me happy.
I feel like I always really enjoy winter until Christmas is over, and then January just sucks. Because it's all dreary outside, and you don't have like the extra like joy of the Christmas season. I guess normally I just, I don't know, I listen to Christmas music much longer than I should.
And I think winter blues happen because there's no sun and it's really cold out. And I'll get over it as I go to some warmer place like California over winter break or something. So yeah.
I think the winter blues is when people are depressed and just want to keep to themselves.
It's cloudy and people are sad and it's just awful and it really hurts me. I go to tennis practice and I do extracurricular activities like skating and tennis.
I think the winter blues is when you kind of become depressed because it's cold and dark in the wintertime, and I think that a way to deal with it is just get outside and go and face it.
A little bit of sadness during the winter months is normal, but if students cannot find ways to cope, the Counseling Center is an available resource to help.
Security around the Hauge Administration Building on campus is ramping up in response to multiple break-ins in the span of a few weeks. Director of Campus Safety, Greg Primo, tells us more about the incidents and what campus safety is doing to prevent them in the future.
We've had 3 separate incidents in Hauge in the last few weeks total, and then there was an incident in Olson as well that based on the details of the incident is very similar, so we think it's the same suspect. Because these particular incidents have not been like forced entry, so there's no signs of damage for when we're doing patrols. We're learning about them the next morning when the employees come in, and so they're finding that their desks have been rummaged through and some things have been misplaced. That type of stuff. Somebody could be leaving a door unlocked that they thought they had locked previously, or somebody's getting in when the facility is unlocked and open and remaining within. Okay. Yeah. We do have a suspect in mind. It's not a PLU related person. It's a community member that we've had to deal with in the past on campus for trespassing issues, wandering around in buildings during the summer that they shouldn't have been in. And so we had contacted them and trespassed them already. So that's not enough at this point to release as a verified suspect. Okay. So I think the first thing is making everybody aware that we're having this issue and reminding them to take the safety precautions that we always encourage. Locking your spaces, calling us when they see people that are suspicious and don't belong. And then we've given a little bit more attention to Hauge specifically with the patrols because of the way the incidents have happened. Where it appears that somebody may be inside the building, so we're going to take a little bit more of an extra care of checking rooms, and we're going for our locks and unlocks and stuff to see if anybody's inside.
Primo reported that while no damage was done, several laptop computers were stolen. Campus Safety urges students and staff to be on guard and pay attention to the email alerts.
While PLU is obviously home to many students, there are a rare few who are also involved with local government. We talked to student Shannon Reynolds about her experience working on a local city council.
I wanted to run for Fircrest City Council because I had seen that the incumbents had been in for a long time, and I thought it was time for some fresh perspective. There were a lot of little things that could be easily changed, low budget, low energy, low time, but not a lot was being done that was new and fresh, and sometimes you need a young person. I didn't do any signs. I didn't do any extra stuff than I had really been doing, except for stopping people on the street and saying, "I'm Shannon, nice to meet you, will you vote for me?" And it worked. I'm really grateful that I got elected, but I'm also grateful for the people who did not vote for me, who remind me that I have a lot of growing and learning to do. I want to make the quality of life for everybody really great. And I wouldn't have done it for any other town, I don't think, other than Faircrest. But you have to have a passion and a driving love for what you're doing, and I love Faircrest.
First-year student Jordan Lee competed in the Pacific Sectionals in Oakland, California recently. We were able to talk to Jordan about her passion for ice skating and her hopes for the future.
I started skating when I was 6 1/2, and I was watching the 2002 Olympics. So the skater that inspired me was Michelle Kwan, of course. My sister started skating because I was skating, and she was always at the rink. And my mom has been really, really supportive. She's a single mom, so she's been raising us and paying for all our skating. I'm going to the sectional championships, Pacifico Sectionals, and you can qualify for it by qualifying at regionals. So I'm really happy that I qualified because it was really unexpected, and regionals was my first competition of the season, and it was everyone else's last competition. So it was a really pleasant surprise. I got injured at the very beginning of the competition season, so I couldn't compete throughout the whole season, and then since regionals was at my home rink, I just decided to do it since my injury was getting better anyways, so it was just out of fun. I want to start coaching here, and eventually I want to go to grad school for sports medicine. But I'm not sure what career I want in that yet. But I want to do something related to athletes and helping them with injuries and everything.
Jordan is accepting donations big and small to help pay for traveling expenses to sectionals. If you're interested in donating, email her.
Nelson Mandela has died. The former president of South Africa was 95 years old. His incredible life has impacted people around the world. Renee Marsh takes a look back.
Nelson Mandela's extraordinary life began in a tiny village in the South African Transkei. He moved to Johannesburg, became a lawyer, and then joined the African National Congress, an organization that would ultimately change his life and that of his country.
The Africans want the franchise on the basis of one man, one vote. They want political independence.
But in the 1950s and 60s, the realities of white domination in South Africa made that dream unattainable. The African National Congress formed an armed resistance to the apartheid system.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and nonviolence.
Mandela was arrested, charged with treason, and sentenced to life in prison. While he performed hard labor at one of South Africa's most remote and harshest prisons, calls for his release echoed around the world.
The government has taken a firm decision to release Mr. Mandela unconditionally.
Finally, after 27 years in prison, at age 71, he was free. In the years following his release, Mandela went on to win a Nobel Peace Prize and was elected South Africa's first black president. He served as president until 1999, when he announced his retirement.
Don't call me. I'll call you.
Despite health problems, his retirement years were busy as he worked on behalf of charities and campaigned tirelessly to bring the World Cup soccer tournament to his beloved nation. In the summer of 2010, Mandela saw that dream realized. His life was a series of battles, but in an interview on his 90th birthday, he said he'd do it all again.
I don't regret it because the things that attracted me were things that pleased my soul.
I'm Renee Marsh reporting.
Applebee's is reportedly adding something new to their tables. The USATA reports the restaurant chain will announce Tuesday that it plans to put tablet computers at every table. The chain hopes to have tablets in place at all of its U.S. restaurants by the end of 2014. Customers reportedly will be able to use the tablets to order appetizers, desserts, pay for their meals, and even play video games while they wait. But you'll still have to go through a waiter to order your main dish. Applebee's isn't the only chain looking to add the new technology. According to USA Today, Chili's restaurants are already working to put tablets at their tables, and IHOP is looking into doing the same thing.
Speaking of changes for restaurant employees, fast food restaurant workers in 100 U.S. cities plan to walk off the job today. It's part of a national effort to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour in the industry and secure the right to unionize. Protests began last year and have since gained momentum. The median pay for the fast food workers nationwide is just over $9 an hour, or about $18,500 a year. That's lower than the Census Bureau's poverty income threshold level for a family of 4. The National Restaurant Association claims the demonstrations are a coordinated PR campaign engineered by national labor groups and that relatively few restaurant workers have participated in past demonstrations.
The holiday season has officially begun at PLU and also in New York City. The famous Rockefeller Center tree was lit Wednesday night during the annual lighting ceremony. Outgoing Mayor Michael Bloomberg flipped the switch. The 75-year-old Norway spruce was donated by a couple in Connecticut. It weighed about 12 tons. The tree is decorated with 45,000 LED lights and nearly a 10-foot wide Swarovski crystal star on top. The tree will be on display until January 7th. Stay tuned, and we'll be back after this next commercial break.
Next is PLU in Focus, and this week they'll be taking a look at the holiday decoration policy at PLU.
So how could I lose you, my honey, honey bee? Oh, how could I lose you, my honey, honey bee?
Yeah.
This new phone is awesome. It has made my life so much easier. You know, I get kind of bored when I'm driving and I need to know what's going on. So now, with this huge screen, a keyboard, and a ton of apps, I can get a text and write back right away, no problem. It's like I barely even have to look at it.
Welcome back to News at 9. I'm Leah Traxel with PLU in Focus. Campus Ministry lit up Red Square on Tuesday night, starting up PLU's holiday season. You can now see holiday decorations across campus. Red Square has its own Christmas tree and features a cross as well. At night, you can see a lit star on the Harstad roof. The decorations in the residence halls change every year. To learn more about the process of hall decorations, we talked with Residential Life's Jess Takla and Mercy Daramola.
Okay, so being that PLU is a Lutheran university, we know that our university is founded on Lutheran traditions. We have a Christmas tree in Red Square. So really the halls, it is a community, and so it's a community decision on, do we want to have a Christmas tree? Do we want to have nothing? Do we want to have lights? And so usually it's either the RHC or student input about what to decorate, or if to decorate at all in the main lounge or in common areas. No matter what we decorate though, we still abide by our policies. So if residents choose to put up lights or Christmas trees, we still have to have things that will keep the hall safe and standing.
To a certain extent. So, you know, we do have certain policies that will be, you know, fire safety policies or things having to do with the safety of the hall, that a full list of those can be found on our Residential Life website, and those are the policies by which we work with the RHCs to decorate the halls, whether that's at move-in or around holiday times or various things like that. But then when it comes to holiday times and religious imagery specifically, we work with each residence hall council to work with the communities of the building to make sure that everybody's view is adequately represented, that people can agree on the different decorations, and that they either kind of take an all approach where every religious tradition is kind of incorporated, or maybe a more neutral approach where they do a holiday or a winter decoration theme.
So the beauty of the Res Halls is they are all different and all unique. I had the perspective working with Ordal and Stewin, and so I know this year what Ordal is doing is they put out a call and our team members went out and talked to different people in the community and said, what do you want to see?
I think that our goal is mostly to be inclusive at all times so that everybody feels that they're welcome, that their views are represented within the community, and that no one feels marginalized because their celebration or their beliefs are not being recognized within the community. Of different events.
Yeah. So it really ranges from honestly each hall and what they're looking to put on. Each hall, through dining services, a partnership we have with them, each hall is able to provide an end of the semester dinner, and so some halls choose to do it as sort of a final celebration or a holiday celebration.
When it comes to programming, if anyone wants to do a program on pretty much any topic, they can work with the resident director, with their RA or their CA, or with their RHC to sponsor that program. And again, we take the approach that we want to be inclusive and make sure that everybody feels a part of that community. So if they want to host a Hanukkah celebration or a Christmas celebration or something like that, we would work with them to try to make an event like that happen.
Well, the question comes up every year of, well, there's a Christmas tree in Red Square, why can't we have a Christmas tree in the halls? Or the conversation about being inclusive can be interpreted, oh, we can't have a Christmas tree, and that's not true. So I would say a challenge is really interpreting the fact that being inclusive doesn't mean that we can't celebrate Christmas, or doesn't mean you can't celebrate your holiday. It really means celebrating your holiday in a space that allows others to feel that their holiday as well can be celebrated.
Well, but when it comes to the lounges, we just want it to be more of a conversation so that it's not a given necessarily that a tree is always going to go up, for example.
So as people are leaving for the break, all decorations will be down. So RHCs, residents, all need to take decorations in common areas and in on fronts of doors, I believe. And common areas for sure need to be taken down.
I think someone could probably have a fake Christmas tree up all year long if they want. Certainly students have lights up all year long sometimes. So within your room, that's pretty much your own arena for expression. And as long as it's okay with your roommate and you've had those kind of decoration conversations, pretty much students are able to customize and decorate their rooms as they see.
Fake trees are allowed, but live trees are not. So that's one thing just to be clear about. And then also lights, draping them on, what is those called?
Pipes.
On pipes, or just where lights are. They have to have a clearance from the ceiling, and they can't be put on anything that might obstruct water flowing.
Also, you don't want to have so many strings of lights attached, kind of, extension to extension to extension, and then plugged into an extension cord into the wall, because that can constitute a fire safety hazard as well. I think that if you are worried about fire safety hazards and want to be safe in your room, you can reference our website. You can certainly call our main office. You can speak with your RA or the resident director of your building, and they can give you some tips to make sure that your holiday decorations are safe in your room.
We also talked with several students around campus about how they plan to decorate their residence hall rooms.
I'm not decorating my room at all, and I'm not decorating it because I just don't have a need to, and I don't really want to this year.
Well, I put up Christmas lights, and we put up our stockings and decorate our tree. We have a lot of ornaments, so it takes forever, but that's mainly what we do. And my mom has a nativity set that we put up.
One way that I really like to decorate is like putting up gift wrap paper on my door, because I have a dorm. And another way that I like to do is just hang ornaments all over my room. It's really fun.
Alright, so I use rope lights, and I put them around my bed, or I have my bed bunk, so I have it around my bed, and I have it around the wall as well. And then I'll get like a fake tree, like a small one at some store. I put it on my desk, put the lights on, ornaments on there, and basically.
I don't decorate because I don't have enough time in my day.
To read more about PLU's decoration policy, please check out plu.edu and check out Residential Life's webpage. I'm Leah Traxo with PLU in Focus. Up next is Devere Dudley with Beyond the Brochure. This week, he'll be talking to the Mooring Mass Bjorn Slater, the Business and Ads Manager, on how you can save money during the holiday season.
Perfect.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to News at 9. I'm Devere Dudley here with Bjorn Slater, the Maureen Mass newly hired business and ads manager. He'll be sharing some tips on how you can save money this holiday season. Bjorn, thanks for coming in. First off, can you tell us what your position is at the Maureen Mass?
I am the business and ads manager.
And what does the business and ads manager do?
As the business and ads manager, I handle the financial side of things. I sell ads weekly to make sure that we can afford to print the paper, and I do payroll and balance the budget.
So you must know a lot about sales and money management. What sort of tips do you have for college students to save money during this holiday season?
The biggest thing is to set yourself a budget and make sure you stick to it, and also to make sure you don't go for the impulse buys. It's easy to see a big deal and go for it, but oftentimes you really don't need it.
Now, would you recommend shopping online or out at the stores?
Personally, I prefer shopping online because you can stay at home in your PJs and do it from your laptop, but if you'd rather contend with the soccer moms out there, that's up to you.
No, I like the PJs. And have you yourself had any big deals you can tell the audience?
Not personally, but I've heard of some friends going to Best Buy, and there's a huge deal on the Galaxy S4 this year. They got it for $0. It's hard to beat free.
Always. But now, are there alternatives to buying presents?
As far as buying presents, it can be easy to just go out and buy a gift card, but I feel like people really prefer the personal touch, like making a card and signing it yourself with a personal message.
Right on. For those who may not know, can you explain what Black Friday and Cyber Monday are?
Yeah, Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving every year where retailers put on a bunch of big deals and try to get everyone to come in and spend money they don't need to. And Cyber Monday is the same thing, except it's restricted to online deals mostly.
Now, with Thanksgiving coming so late this year, do you think retail stores will take a hit?
I don't think so. People think that Black Friday is a huge deal and that retailers make a ton of money, but in reality, the weeks leading up to Christmas are still much more important.
Are there any specific stores that you know that have good deals right now?
Yeah, Walmart is always a great place to go if you're looking for a deal, and as far as electronics, you can't really beat Best Buy.
And any other sort of tips for college students to try to save money this holiday season?
For college students, just try to stay within your means, always set a budget, and people understand you don't have to buy them something, and it's easy to go back and just make a handmade card if you get to the maximum on your budget.
Right on. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Bjorn, thanks again. News at 9 will return in February for the spring semester. Until then, feel free to check us out anytime at massmedia.plu.edu. Happy holidays, Lutz, and good luck on your finals. For all the News at 9 crew, I'm Devere Dudley. Good night.